Hey, it's Doug here again. Um, this is going out just to a few select people. We've sort of culled the pastors' names. We have hundreds and hundreds of names on this. Uh, but we have ways of telling something about the people we're sending them to. I've just got about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do a sequel to explain some other things this morning. But uh, uh, I'm kind of by myself here in the office. It's late Sunday night, but I've got some things we need to move into this week. I'm going to talk to you about our vision for Seattle and Baltimore, starting churches there. Praxis is my driving force that I do now. We have ministry training schools in 5 cities, 4 cities. Our goal is to put 2,000 leaders out of ministry of various denominations, other groups that are trained in what we call digital age communication and organizing of groups and churches. Basically, quickly, we've also went into shaping different models of doing church. About 5 years ago, I began to notice that everybody was having the same problem. Actually, maybe even a little before that. And these were a few problems. One, 3/4 of the people were gone on any given Sunday, and everybody was declining about the same amount, about 2% a year, which means Southern Baptists were dropping about 2 to 300,000 a year, Methodists about 150,000 and such, and and or more, and so there were. I figure last year there were 2 or 3 million people left church. The only bright spot is the Pentecostals. Interestingly enough, they're increasing 2 points a year, which subsequently we'll get around to this, but I think it has a lot to do with spontaneity in a pretty excessively formulated process we do in church now. But here's what happened. We found that we needed to come up with some new structures for church. Older baby boomers and millennials and all didn't have a lot of problem with the message or the people or anything. It's just that they're in information overload, stimulation overload, time starvation, and the money factors becoming a deal. People just have a difficult time paying for the way we do church anymore. So I pooled all that research with many good friends, but I always look behind the research and I look for, okay, what are we going to do? And I discovered there are basically 5 ways people like to gather. One is conventional church. About 20-25% of people like to do that. I call them full service churches. The second time is the type we're looking at in Seattle and Baltimore and Orlando, which is what I call the low maintenance conventional church. And basically, they're built around having church one Sunday a month, a number of simplified, decentralized things the rest of the weeks, keying on family, keying on that, and once a month, a very fun, huge party with mariachi bands or whatever and all that to kind of hang out together and share testimonies and let people have some contact with us that's in a fun place. So we'll talk about that later. Our primary goal is to one, do evangelism, share Jesus with the cities. Two, to create an environment of spiritual growth that is fun, is self-directed, self-generated, and for the lay people to basically run and care for the church. We're not going to have paid pastors. We're going to pay evangelists, and we're going to have a paid media department that will share between the 4 churches. And we'll have overseers like myself and Mike who work with all 4. But we're pastors aren't going to get paid. We're going to have hundreds of lay pastors. We saw that the other forms of church probably aren't important at this point in time. I've got a book coming out called Leadership, which I think is going to be as big as my book Baby Boomerang a number of years ago, and people are actually freaking out when they read it, when they see what I see coming. So we are going to start in Seattle in October for sure. We want to begin gathering interested people right now. And you can go to our Facebook at G2G Northwest. That's a G and the number 2 and a G. And we'll keep a lot of data up there. We've got tentatively a webinar scheduled. I finally figured the things out and actually have some people help me run it. And so it will go a little better than I had in my past. I've struggled with that a little bit. And I'll share a little bit of my testimony a little bit, how the Lord kind of healed my pituitary years back with with asthma medication pretty much blew my gourd out, and I'm down here in Florida having a great time. and seeing God do some pretty amazing stuff. But our service is going to look like this. One, we're only going to be around 8 years, and then we're going to morph into other groups. Two, we're going to have a project to love the city with, and the one we're looking at right now until we get a no, and we found a national organization to help us, is we're going to develop a clinic, and we're going to cover that because we only have expenses of one Sunday a month. We want to put together a clinic where we get doctors and such, and as a church we volunteer and work with it, that are going to work with some of these people with schizophrenic. Most of the people you see on the streets around there are schizophrenic or fetal alcohol syndrome. Nobody's really doing something about it. So we felt that would be a great place for us to go love. It's one thing to give them a sandwich, but we can go in. There are medications today that'll make them well in a short period of time. So we're going to do that. We're going to start. We're going to start our services with a couple of really great songs. I got friends from all over the world come in for that. We're going to have tremendous videos. One of the things we're going to move into is we're going to interview famous, not so famous, wonderful people around the world right in our service for about 4 or 5 minutes. Maybe a missionary in Laos, or we never get to do that as a church. So definitely not a Christian celebrity. So then we have a comedian coming for most of the time. I found 12 of them are really good, and they'll introduce us into the message. The message is going to be a little longer than you might suspect, about 45 minutes at least, if not longer. And then we're going to have a ministry time. We're going to invite people to come forward often. We're going to have ministry time because we feel that's a directive. Then we're going to finish with 3 or 4 songs. There's no offering. We're not going to receive any offerings in the service. All offering will be taken online through our phone app, the internet, or mail. No one has checks or cash anymore. So it'll also help your friends not have to deal with that little point of friction. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to win a lot of people, and we're going to train about 10 people a year to go do some of these other things. It looks like we're going to have a pretty good chunk of people when we start in October. But here's where I'm at now. In the next video, I'll say more of our philosophy. But right now, we've got some needs to get it rolling. Lori and I have pumped a lot of money in getting these 3 things set up. In fact, about 30 grand, getting everything lined up of our own money, and hopefully someday we'll get paid back. You never know. So the thing we need to do now is finish up some websites. I need to fly out there a few times. I do have some free tickets, but I fly out there. Mike Masson, who's a famous evangelist from Australia, who'll be the pastor, we've got to buy some of his time because he won't be traveling. So he's not like on salary or anything now, but we need to cover some of his time because we're putting in a lot of work right now. Our website needs to be tied up, and I want to spend a bunch of money on Facebook ads to get the whole area where we're coming in there. I had a student in one of our proxies spend $20 on Facebook ads, and 50 people showed up to his meeting, which is pretty incredible. So it does work. So I need your help. I need your prayer, and I also need some people who want to be leaders. You don't have to be the conventional leadership type. Basically, you love Jesus, want to help people. We'll figure that out. We're going to have 1 meeting for every 30 people at least. So if you want to do that, go to our Facebook or send me an email at murin.consultation@gmail.com. And right now we need some money bad. We need about $6,000 even this week. Soon, earlier part of this week, we have to move on take care of some of our Proxys site. I got to get some time with Mike, and we just got some business stuff we got to set up. Got to get our things all aligned, and it costs money. We won't need a lot of money once we get into it, because once we get through this little phase here, it'll be easy to cover. It's going to be 1/3 the normal cost, but I do need some of you who can give to help me. The best way to give is to go to Google Wallet. Our account is murin.consultation@gmail.com. Or go to PayPal, and it's the same name, murin.consultation@gmail.com. And you'll see them on this email, I imagine. And our address is in our Facebook, G2G Northwest, and it's probably easier if you just go there and find it. So pray with me. At least we get our 6,000 here in a couple days. I've got some other people in Baltimore. We've had a couple miracles. One, church gave us a building, a nice building. They heard we were doing this, and they gave us a building right across the street from NASA's headquarters. And then a wealthy man who had heard me speak and knew I was involved has committed a substantial amount of money to get us rolling. So we've got a lot of people in Seattle involved, but we need to bring up the money side. and and do that kind of thing. I'm not taking our we're basically the money we put in, it's in. I was joking earlier, it's in. So I need some heavy investors. Appreciate it. We're gonna have a heck of a lot of fun. Nothing but fun. That's part of our creed. So if you would like more information, go to our Facebook, answer me on the email. Thank you for your giving if you're able to do it. Thank you if you want to be a leader type, sign up. Let us know because we will be at our Facebook announcing, times that we'll be gathering all the people. Numbers aren't a big thing right now. There's just two people want to work with each other. We're going to do it because we're in for the long haul. And I'm sure if I knew you, I would love you. But I'll be back at you. Watch for these emails or go to our Facebook. God bless you. Thank you. Bye.